Serious Redditors who've escaped an attempted kidnapping. What happened? Attention. Serious tag notice jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted. https://www.reddit.com/r/askreddit/wiki/index #wiki_6-closing parenthesis in any comment, parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an AMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message, compose, @r@askreddit if you have any questions or concerns. I accepted a ride outside of a bar around 2 a.m. I may have been heavily under the influence. When I realized that he was going in the wrong direction, I pointed it out. He said that it was an accident. I told him to take the next right. He took a left and stopped responding to me. So I did what I thought was a reasonable response. I pulled a knife on him and told him to pull over. I got out and walked home where I joked about it with my roommates. Once I sobered up the next day, I realized how many points in that night could have ended terribly for me. I also should have noticed it was a windowless van before I jumped in. How I survived my 20s is a mystery. When I was 9, I was in the front yard of our house by myself. A lady in a white minivan pulled up and asked if I had seen a small white dog. I said no. Then she asked if I wanted to help her find her dog and said I could sit in the front seat. I said I would ask my mom and ran inside. When me and my mom came back outside, she was gone. My mom was really happy that I came to ask her first and I got a milkshake. When I was 3, my stay-at-home mother bailed with some guy and left brother at a neighbor's. My dad got home from work and found a note that she left explaining everything. A few months later she returned and wanted to see my brother and Dad wouldn't let her. Eventually he relented and agreed to let her take us to the park. She kidnapped us and went into hiding for 6 months. My dad finally found us. After a year of custody hearings they awarded her custody. Fuck me. Not sure if this counts but I'll try. I was at my nana's playing on a swing in a tree when the neighbor's son poked his head out and started talking to me. I was 6 so didn't think anything of it. Then he tells me he has a late birthday present for me in the house. I, being the curious 6-year-old, went with him. His hand was on my shoulder leading me in. I was one step inside when my gut started screaming at me. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was so strong it was like a voice in my ear yelling, "Danger, run, danger." I tried to leave but his hand was still on my shoulder. He tightened his grip and so I did the thing that I remembered made my dad stop fighting with me. I raised my arm and jerked it back as hard as I could. I hit him in the junk. He dropped and I bolted to my nana's house and told them what happened. They didn't believe me. My mom did later. She wasn't there at that time. Told me, "Oh, he wouldn't do that," or "You misunderstood the situation." Well, years later, guess who is in jail for rape? Yeah, creepy neighbor dude. And guess what? She still doesn't believe it. Mine isn't that scary, but it could have been very bad. I am a guy. When I was about 9, I was swimming at a hotel swimming pool with my family and left the pool area to get a candy bar from a vending machine in the hallway. An old man was there, looked like a really nice guy. He can't figure out the vending machine, so I get the machine to work and I get him the Skittles that he wanted. He thanked me kindly and walked over to the bathroom across the hall, which had just become available. He looks across the hall both ways and asks me if I need to use the bathroom too. Like an idiot, I said, "Well, yeah, but you can go first." Then he says, "Well, do you just want to come in here with me?" I didn't think it was super weird at the time but politely declined and made my way back to the swimming pool and waited a good 20 minutes to finally use the bathroom. Never saw him again. It came up in a conversation a couple weeks ago, I don't remember why, and I mentioned it to my mom. It wasn't until then that I realized I could have been molested. Very thankful that I declined his invitation because I have no idea what would have happened next. When I was 14, I foolishly got into the car of a man I thought was one of my teachers on my way home from a school dance. I was wrong. I spent the next 4 hours in sheer terror. The man threatened to rape me and told me I would die when I said I was going to jump out. This was in a small town and he drove me out into the hills. I noticed a photo on his dashboard of 2 children and began to ask about them and their mother. He told me the mother had been killed in a DUI crash years before. I finally talked him into taking me back to town and letting me go by promising not to call police. When I got out of the vehicle, I memorized the license number. I told my mother when I got home what happened and we called the cops. He was picked up the next day because of my description. He was wearing the same clothes and license number. I was 13. We were out of school that day, but had a ball game. I was waiting by the side of the highway for my coach to pick me up. A guy in a white van pulled off the road by me and asked if I needed a ride. I said no, that my ride was coming. He asked again if I was sure I didn't need a ride. When I said no again, he said, "I really think you need to take a ride with me." He started opening the door to get out and I saw he had a knife in his hand. I said, "There's my ride," and turned and started running down the road away from him, waving down the first vehicle I saw. The vehicle actually was my coach arriving to pick me up, so I was safe. It bothers me to this day, decades later, that I felt the need to be polite to that person, from the initial, "maybe he's just a nice person thinking I need help," to the explaining why I was running away from him. We're raised to be too polite emo, and I've certainly become a lot ruder since that day. When a guy tried to rob me in my college years, I broke his arm. I like that memory much better. I was held hostage by an escaped prisoner once. After 7 or 8 hours I rushed him and got shot in the forearm. The guy freaked out and started crying and I talked him into surrendering himself. When we went into the police station I was charged with harboring an escaped convict, no idea why. It was eventually thrown out of court. Like the rest of the posters, IDK if this counts, but my mom thinks I was nearly kidnapped as a kid. When I was 5 years old I was playing on a playground with some other kids next to my sister's soccer game and my mom was sitting in between the two and trying to keep an eye on me as well as watch the game. Apparently she only took her eyes off me for like 30 seconds and I was gone. My mom started freaking out and screaming my name and soon everyone was looking for me. They were even making announcements over the loudspeakers with my physical description. This went on for like 10 minutes until my mom walked over to some bonfire that was happening nearby and found some random woman with me in her lap. My mom told me she nearly beat the shit out of that woman because it was impossible that she didn't know everyone was looking for me. No idea what was up with that woman, but she was clearly some kinda messed up for taking some random kid from a playground and ignoring everyone looking for her.